Hey guys, this is Trenchy here to bring you another video, and this time we are going to be discussing the um, sequel to the was it 2016? 2016 film The Suicide Squad. Now we have Suicide Squad 2, which they just called the Suicide Squad. I'm just calling it Suicide Squad 2. I don't know why they didn't just add a 2 to the end. Because I know they're like, it's a reboot sequel, but I feel like it could fit in the continuity of the original. Yeah, some characters have different feels to them for sure, but there's only like 2 or 3 characters from the original in this. And yeah, they did change Rick Flag's character a lot, but it doesn't seem too drastic, especially since his situation in the first one. So, like, his situation in the first movie is that he was in love with the Enchantress, who I know is gone and they don't talk about, but like, he was in love with the Enchantress and he was stressed because of that, because that what's made him a slave to Waller, and stuff. So he had all that stress. But in this one, there is no, the it's not talked about. The Enchantress is gone, so maybe that mellowed him out a bit, since he doesn't have that added stress on his shoulder. You know, I'm going into a random. I had another video actually recorded, but from last night, but the thoughts were too sporadic. It was right after the movie, and it was too bum 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 bum. You know. So I guess I'll talk about the first Suicide Squad in general before we get into this new one. I liked the movie. It has its problems, but it was my favorite DCU film for a long time. I mean, I haven't seen Shazam or Aquaman, but it was one of my favorites, and that might have been because in general it was a Suicide Squad movie, and so that might have been part of it. I've realized, but like, I did enjoy the movie. I don't think the original deserves all the shit it gets. Does it have problems? Yes. Is Will Smith's portrayal of Deadshot not the greatest? Yes. But there are other great character moments, and like Will Smith's Deadshot, I just take it as its own thing. Like, it's not my preferred version of Deadshot, but at the same time, it was still a fun character. The character was still enjoyable on a level. Still enjoyable. Um, my bad. Got a drink, but no, the original had its problems, but solid film. We might be getting a cut of it, because, Zack Snyder got his cut out. Air wants to have his cut. I say bring it, I'll take an Air cut. I mean, if Zack Snyder got to do it, why not Air, I guess there's even a cut of Spider-Man 3 out there. So, everybody's got their cuts nowadays, for better or worse. you know. But I won't get into the whole cut situation. If you do want a video on my thoughts on certain cuts of films being released years after specific making certain cuts of films, let me know. Not that my opinion matters, but it's just like, if you're interested. But, so, Suicide Squad 2, not calling it the Suicide Squad, it's Suicide Squad 2. It's what the fuck it is. I really enjoyed this movie, man. I feel like this is the Suicide Squad movie a lot of fans have been waiting for. Um, and you can still nitpick it, of course. You can nitpick the fuck out of it, and I know diehard fans probably will, but like in the end of the day, I really fucking enjoyed it. Um, it brought a lot more to the table than I legitimately thought it would, and I've talked to others who have seen it. Well, not after seeing. I've talked to one person who had seen it before I had seen it. I talked to that person. Then I talked to another person last night who had seen it after I had seen it as well. So I talked to a couple people. Um, and one person liked it. The other person thought it was like it was okay, but it was nothing great. But um, in my opinion, I fucking loved it. Like I said, this is the Suicide Squad movie I was waiting for. Now, are there problems? Of course. Um, one's a little personal nitpick. I wish they did not kill a specific character off because I feel like he is vital to the franchise. But at the same time, this movie also did not include a certain character that is usually vital to the franchise, and it did just fine. And the character I'm talking about went out like a badass, so I can kind of forgive it. And it added to the suspense of the movie, because I'm like, if Gunn has the balls to kill him off, unless if Warner Brothers doesn't know the worth of their characters, if Gunn has the balls to kill him off, who else are they letting Gunn kill off, you know? And so that was interesting dynamic there. Um, like a Suicide Squad movie should be. Everybody is expendable, you know. Um, Two, there are a lot of characters in this movie, and there is a lot going on. Not that the plot's complicated per se, but it's like a Suicide Squad comic movie, you know? They go from mission to mission. It's not like the first one where they're on. Like, the first one was pretty much get the A to B, you know, ABC. Like, they're just trying to get through the city, get to this giant tower. You know, very A to Z. Well, in this one, you have two teams on same place, different mission, different areas of the place. You got different times, like you'll jump to one team, what one team's doing at that moment, and then it will jump, after that's done, it will jump back to show you what the other specific team was doing at that moment, or other members, because they're all split up. And it jumps around a little bit, kind of like a Tarantino movie, but not exactly. Like, I wouldn't say like a Pulp Fiction type deal, but you know, it's more followable than that. But it does jump around a bit, a little jumpy. But I feel like that added to the movie. Like, it's hard because it's like, part of me is like, yeah, it was hard, it was a little jumbled, it was hard to, like, sometimes it was like bam bam bam, but at the same time, I felt like that added to the fun factor of it, because this movie is very fun and feels very comic booky. And the third thing, I did want more time with certain characters. I won't say who, but there were certain characters I would have loved to see more of. And hopefully there is a specific one that I hope we see more of in the DCU coming into the future because of a certain after credit scene. But the thing is, like, even with all those kind of little negatives, I still think the movie was fucking brilliant. I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, the Suicide Squad are doing what the Suicide Squad do. They're breaking into a foreign country because superheroes cannot cross border lines. This is something established. They're the good guys. They can't, like, break into other countries and do shit, even though Superman was doing it in fucking Batman v Superman, but they're not supposed to do that. They can't just cross over into random borders and shit. That's why they have to have the Suicide Squad. Because the Suicide Squad can do things the heroes can't. They can kill. They can break border fucking agreements and border lines. You know, espionage and shit. Like, they do stuff the heroes can't do because the heroes are bound by the law. Well, besides Batman, but you know what I mean. Like, the heroes are bound by a law, but the Suicide Squad is not. So they're breaking into this place, Cortos Maltese. There was like a coup. This military dictators all took over and shit, and they're planning something evil. And they got this secret project going on. And the squad has to go and blow up the facility and get the information and shit. Which, like I said, I liked that they're actually, they're going into other countries like the Suicide Squad usually does. They're doing the dirty work. Good song that was playing in the movie fits it perfectly. They're doing the dirty work the superheroes won't do. And this is like a Suicide Squad should be. Film should be. This is an R-rated movie. I mean, for multiple things. Mainly violence. There are heads getting sliced in half. You got faces blown off. You got people being ripped in half. Decapitations. Beautiful, beautiful gore. And a lot of practical gore that I could see. It looked, a lot of it looked practical to me, which was good to see. And I also feel that the character, the Weasel, is not fully CGI either. Because in some scenes it looks like a dude in a suit. Like, it looks like a suit. So I feel like the Weasel is actually a practical effect. And they just put CGI to make it a little bit more cartoony. But he's still practical, which I thought was dope. More movies need to mix CGI and practical effects. Because I'm not one of those haters of CGI. I'm not one of those down with the CGI. Like, I don't mind CGI. But, like, I love practical as well. Practical, like, so many great practical movies like Nightbreed and fucking The Thing and just Terminator, just, So if you're able to mix CGI and practical, like Terminator 2 and stuff, I feel like I don't feel like practical should go away. I feel like it needs to be a team up, or at least like don't let CGI take over everything, have some practical things too, and they did in this movie. I feel like they did a nice balance. I mean, there's a lot of CGI, but there is also practical. Like, there is some good practical effects, especially with the gore, and I think the weasel was partially a practical effect as well. So, gotta give it um, thumbs up for that, for sure. Fucking. Just this movie, man, was very artistic. Gunn, like, Gunn has showed his artistic value with Guardians of the Galaxy. They are some of the prettiest movies out there, and he has done other, like Gunn is great because Gunn started with trauma, but he also, and then he branched off and kind of did his own horror films like Slither and Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, really brutal film. So he knows how to work with gore. He knows how to work with body horror from Slither, which is also on show here. There is some body horror in this movie, but he also knows how to do the big fun action films because he did them with Marvel, and I think he worked on some other stuff too. I think that was like that as well. So I feel like Gunn was perfect because he mixed what he knew from all these different experiences with, like, working with practical gore effects and CGI effects and horror and body horror and fun action movies and beautiful, visually pleasing movies, and mixed it all together into this film, which I liked. It was like Chef Kisses, man. Chef Kisses. He put them all in the brew to make something beautiful. Which is fucking fantastic in my book. Like, there's a lot of cool, like, beautiful moments from when Harley's fighting these people in the in this palace, and she has a staff, and it's like bringing like these animated birds to life. And there's a lot of nice looking birds in this movie. Or like when King Shark goes to the aquarium and he meets all these nice looking fish. And there's a lot more. But there's a lot of visually pleasing moments. And then it's cool because, like I said, the movie jumps around, but it will tell you when in like creative ways. Like, it will say like in the now, like we're before, but it will show like an explosion and it will wake out the words before, and then maybe on the ground there'll be a fire saying now, or like in dirt it would say now with Harley, or like from wreckage it would spell something out, like a certain location. Like, I really like that. And again, I feel like Gunn was the best choice because of all these different creative experiences he's had. I think that it's all paid off with this movie. Like, he asserted all his best talents from all of these great movies he did into this. And I loved the movie. I mean, Bloodsport surprised me. He was his own character. He was not like a stand-in for Deadshot. He's very much his own character. He's similar to Deadshot, but very different. Idris Elba came in, made that shit his own, did a great job with it. I'm happy they let Elba, I think that was his own accent. They let Elba keep his accent instead of just having him do an American accent. Because again, I think that's another, I feel like instead of Gunn being like, we need a replacement for Deadshot, he's like, no, we're making this his own character, making him stand out as much as possible. Because everybody, before the film, and I'm pretty sure others as well, maybe I was the only one, but I was comparing Bloodsport to Deadshot. But now, no. Bloodsport's fucking brilliant. Definitely his own character. I also like how our old cast does not outshine our new cast. They're used they're used enough, and they're given great moments and still relevant to the plot. They're not thrown away. Like, but they don't outshine the new people. We get enough time with the new people on our own to grow attached and like before um we get we get enough time of their growth, and then we get like Harley Quinn and stuff, like Harley Quinn and Flag, like they don't overshadow, like they're still relevant, but they do go away for a little bit so we can get to know these characters and enjoy these characters, and then they come back for more badass fun. um so I enjoyed that. King Shark's fucking brilliant. King Shark, like, it's crazy, man, because the animal characters were really running this motherfucker, and I thought there was only going to be two. You got King Shark and Weasel. But no, man, like, and I'm not including Starro. He was in the trailer, but not including Starro when I say that. But no, there was a rat named Sebastian that Ratcatcher uses. It's like her main rat friend, and it's like I really like Sebastian as well. I was rooting for Sebastian not to die the whole movie. The animal characters are fucking brilliant. But, like, I knew King Shark going in was probably going to be one of my favorites, and he is, but one character that surprised the fuck out of me was Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher 2. Because I did not expect her character to really shine, but she did. I really grew attached to the Ratcatcher character, and there are some emotional sequences with her, and they really hit home. I think, like, there are a few emotional sequences in the film, but I think the ones with her were really the most impactful out of them all. And there's a great emotional sequence with Harley as well, but I feel like the Ratcatcher emotional sequences were just, they really got me. They really got me, and so it was like, damn, like, so when Ratcatcher was actually in peril, I was very much connected to that character. Like, I liked the whole cast, though. And I liked that we got another Suicide Squad trope in here, too, that people were selling people out. People had alternative motives set up by Waller. Waller's vicious as fuck in this movie. They have... So, people, there's tension amidst the squad, and Waller's got her own motives as always, and that's something the first movie was missing, is people turning on each other, the people selling each other out, people working for Waller secretly to do something else than what they're supposed to, and there was a little bit of that in the first film, but I feel like it was more highlighted here. Definitely more highlighted here. And, shit, I lost my train of thought. I did enjoy that. I also like to see we got more of the control base, and we got to see some of Waller's, like, little henchmen. And I really liked those characters as well. We didn't see them much, but I really got connected to them. Well, not really connected, but I enjoyed seeing them. It wasn't like, oh no, you're taking us away from the squad. Like, no, I really like these characters. And It's kind of like in Misery when they skip to the sheriff. Like, I really like the sheriff and his wife, and I enjoy watching them. It's kind of like that here. I enjoy watching Waller, and even when Waller's not there, the henchmen, the little lab coat people, I really enjoyed it. It gave me a very much a cabin in the woods vibe, especially when they were like betting on who will die. So that was cool. Um, like, this movie just like shines on all cylinders, and this is purely an R-rated movie, just like the comics, because the comics were R-rated too, especially the New 52 run, which I read the whole New 52 run. Um, at least I think I did. I read every trade I could get my hands on. But no, it's like this movie again. I'm already said this, and I will repeat this. Don't bring your kids to this. Not only for the gore, there is a sequence where I swear there's a man in the background with his dick out. I might have been seeing things, but I know that people, it's not helping me, but I swear, the man in the background had his dick out. This man, in one of the sequences. But yeah, don't bring your kids to this ultra violence and stuff like that. But no, man, this movie's great. It's very surreal. If you like Doom Patrol, it's got the Doom Patrol vibes. A little bit Cabin in the Wood vibes. Fun, violent action. If you just want to see, and again, it's not going to be perfect. I know for fans, it's not going to be perfect. But if you want to see a Suicide Squad movie that is more in the spirit of the Suicide Squad, maybe not exactly having the characters you really love and enjoy, but still fun, likable characters who are still villains. Which, another thing, when they have to turn, there's a sequence in both films in the end where they gotta turn babyface, and they gotta turn from heel to babyface and fight the big bad. Also, by the way, Peter Capaldi is great in this movie, as well as the Pinker. Don't want to leave out Peter Capaldi. But, when they, in the first film, it felt very forced. Like, a few of the characters, like, it didn't make sense what they were doing. Like, it didn't make sense to me that they would do what they did. But in this, especially with one character in the original, it made no fucking sense at all. But, like, in this, they, when they do this, every character, it's believable in their motivations. Every character is believable in doing why they're doing what they're doing. I can see why every single character does what they does. And some of them, it isn't even really out of morals. It's just they don't want to be left alone. Like, and I thought that was great. I thought, okay, this all makes sense. And I like how some of them weren't even doing it because it's the right thing to do. They had their own kind of motivation or like, relevation and shit. I thought that was dope. But yeah. I really enjoyed this film. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It was really fun. The after credit scenes are great. Even though I was hoping one of them we would see a different character than who we saw. But shouldn't have got my hopes up like that, man. I should have known that it was going to be said person, not a certain person. But yeah, guys, this is already longer than the original review. Maybe I should just put up the original review. But fuck it. Everything about this movie's awesome. Great music, great characters, great everything. Couple problems, but I don't think it's a big deal. You know. I hope you guys have a good day. Stay frosty. This is Trenchy signing off. Beep bop boop. Who the fuck is Milton?